Hey there, welcome to another episode of History with Elroy. I'm excited because today is February 12th and we're going to talk about Abraham Lincoln. Now, Abraham Lincoln was the 16th President of the United States of America, and his birthday was on February 12th. That's why we're talking about him today. Well, anyways, I'm excited to talk about Abraham Lincoln because he really is a hero of mine. Now, Abraham Lincoln was president during one of the most difficult periods in American history. Now, while he was president, the Civil War occurred. Now, the Civil War, it was the American Civil War, mind you, occurred from 1861 all the way to 1865. And it was a horrible time where brothers fought against brothers. But Abraham Lincoln was president during this time, so it was up to him to try to hold everything together and to try to unify people. You see, Abraham Lincoln became president, and right after he was elected, some of the southern states said, "We're out of here," and they seceded. And Abraham Lincoln said, "I don't want you guys to go. Come on back." But they wouldn't come back. So Abraham Lincoln said, "Well, I want us to all be together. And if we're all going to be together, that means I may have to fight you to get you back." And that's just what he did. Now, Abraham Lincoln was able to see everybody unified in 1865 at the end of the war. He's famous for saying, "A house divided shall not stand." And he really believed that, and so that's why he wanted everybody to be together and united. Now, he also did some other very important things. In 1863, he released the Emancipation Proclamation. Now, this was extremely important because what this said is for the southern states, they had slaves in those states. And what this proclamation said was that any slaves that lived in those southern states were now free. Now, it didn't necessarily end up freeing anybody at that time because all those slaves still had masters, and so they couldn't necessarily leave, and they didn't always even know about it. But it set a precedent. Precedent's a funny word. It kind of sounds like president, but precedent basically just means something happens once, and so then it's kind of expected to happen again. Now, the precedent that it set was this. In the other negotiations for the war to end, it had been expected that maybe the southern states would get to keep having slaves and the free states would continue to be free. But this said that when they were united, there will be no more slaves. There was no stepping back from that. All the old negotiations were out the window. Now, at the end of the war, or a little bit before the end of the war, Abraham Lincoln helped encourage people to start writing the 13th Amendment, and he was fully behind it. And basically what this said is that there could be no more slaves in the United States of America. Now, this was passed after he passed away, unfortunately, and it was passed in late 1865. Abraham Lincoln was a really cool president. And unfortunately, he was assassinated right after the end of the war. Now, assassinated is a big word, but it really just means that someone is killed, which is really sad. But I'm excited to tell you about Abraham Lincoln today, and I want you to know about him because he's very important to American history. You see, if he just said, you guys in the South can just go on your way, then things would have been a lot different. Who knows what would have happened in World War I and II, because there would have been several nations in the United States of America, not just one. And there's also something else that we can take from Abraham Lincoln that's important. He said that a house divided shall not stand. And that's important. You know, you may not always get along with your neighbors or the rest of the people in your neighborhood or your city or your state or your nation. But what you have to remember is that we're all Americans and we need to stick together. Because the minute that we start walking our own ways, this way and that, that's when we weaken. And that is when you don't survive anymore. Now, I want to read one more quote for you that I find very cool that Abraham Lincoln said. He said, "You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today." Don't put things off. If you need to do something, do it today. Maybe it's going to be something that you get a little nervous about or you don't really want to do it. But do it today, because it's going to come back tomorrow anyways. So you may as well get it done. Well, thank you guys for watching another episode of History with Elroy. I'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.